In a shocking turn of events that has sent ripples through the sports world, Angel Reese found herself at the center of a heated moment involving basketball legends Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Shaquille O'Neal. What was expected to be a moment of camaraderie quickly escalated when Reese, the rising star of women's basketball, was met with unexpected rejection from these icons. Her reaction, filled with emotion and determination, captured the attention of fans and analysts alike, sparking conversations about respect, recognition, and the challenges faced by female athletes in a male-dominated sport. This incident not only highlights the ongoing dialogue around gender equity in sports, but also showcases Reese's fierce spirit as she navigates her own path in the game.
But watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer. It's crazy though, just because her shot it's like that. It's at that level.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are two of the brightest stars in college basketball today, but they have experienced the spotlight in very different ways. While both athletes have proven their exceptional skills on the court, the dynamics around their public perception and support have been noticeably contrasting.
I think in overall popularity, does her race play a factor? Nominal. Women's basketball has had a cornucopia of talented white and black women's basketball players. Elena Delle Donne is white, is she not? Sue Bird, white, is she not? Asia Wilson's black. Cynthia Cooper, black. Like, you can go back through, and it's actually a lot more. There's gay and there's straight. There's black and there's white. There's tall and there's short.
Particularly when it comes to the backing they receive from high-profile players and experts in the basketball community. Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Shaquille O'Neal, among other basketball legends, have been vocal in their support of Caitlin Clark. Their admiration stems not only from her jaw-dropping performances, but also from her distinctive style of play and the maturity she exhibits under immense pressure. For these veterans, Clark embodies a level of basketball IQ and competitive spirit that they deeply respect. They see in her a relentless drive, a willingness to take risks, and a flair for making the kind of game-changing plays that define greatness.
Splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane. That should be celebrated, and it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up.
LeBron James has been particularly supportive of Clark, often praising her ability to control the tempo of the game and her leadership on the court. He has highlighted her uncanny shooting range and praised her for taking on challenges with a fearless attitude. For LeBron, Clark's tenacity and willingness to step up in crucial moments resonate with his own approach to the game. His endorsement of Clark goes beyond just applauding her skills. It reflects his appreciation for her mental toughness and her role as a game-changer in women's sports.
Well, it was definitely what happened last year between Caitlin Clark and, Angel Reese. It was, talked about, and would have liked to seen that rematch in time. But Caitlin Clark is a special player. She reminds me of a Steph Curry. A lot of times she takes those ill-advised shots that me and Chuck don't like, but they go in. Not only do they go in consistently.
Shaquille O'Neal, a dominant force in his own right, has also been vocal about his admiration for Caitlin Clark. Shaq appreciates the way she uses her physicality and basketball IQ to her advantage.
And the way she plays the game, she's the true definition of a great player, one that makes the players around her better. Not only was she making a great shot, she was making great passes, and, she took her loss with humility.
He has pointed out her exceptional court vision and ability to create opportunities not just for herself, but for her teammates, drawing parallels to some of the greatest playmakers in basketball history. Shaq's support for Clark is rooted in his respect for players who redefine their positions and bring something unique to the sport. Steph Curry, known for revolutionizing the game with his three-point shooting, sees a bit of himself in Caitlin Clark. He has often spoken about her fearlessness in taking deep shots and her ability to light up the scoreboard from anywhere on the court. Curry's support is a nod to Clark's shooting prowess and her willingness to push the boundaries of what's expected from a player in her position. His recognition of her talent has not only validated her skills, but has also amplified her presence in the media, drawing even more attention to her performances.
Regular season viewership, it grew by 20% in 2023. It's grown by 180% now, which means it would take another 5 or 6 years to do what Caitlin Clark has done. So between draft day viewership, which is up 400% to 40%, between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%, between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%, what Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years.
Any other player we have ever seen in the women's game, and it starts with the distance with which she shoots the basketball. We've never seen a player shoot from that deep range with that kind of efficiency.
Caitlin Clark is starting to push A'ja Wilson for MVP of this league, and I am not exaggerating. She is starting to push A'ja as the best player in the league because I don't see anybody control a game the way Caitlin can.
While Caitlin Clark has enjoyed widespread support from these icons, Angel Reese's journey has been somewhat different. Despite her own outstanding performances and her role as a dominant force in women's college basketball, the narrative around Reese hasn't always been as positive. Some experts and analysts seem hesitant to offer her the same level of recognition, perhaps due to her outspoken nature and the intense on-court persona she brings to the game.
I mean, I think it's been, it's been happening, prior even to this team. This momentum, this wave, that we're feeling, it has been sort of this kind of journey for women's basketball to get the attention that it is, getting at this point.
Offensively, our defense wasn't very good, so I think just improving in that area and just all kind of gathering our emotions a little bit better and finding better shots. I thought we kind of stopped playing in a way that made us successful in the first half, so just a good learning opportunity for us. I feel like we could have played a lot better, but yeah, I mean, I think there's a line, and sometimes your passion, your emotion can get to you, but...
Reese, known for her passionate and sometimes confrontational style, has been a formidable player, but her boldness has occasionally led to polarized reactions. While some admire her confidence and authenticity, others view it as controversial, which may explain why she hasn't received the same unanimous support from high-profile figures as Caitlin Clark. This disparity in perception highlights the double standards that female athletes often face, where being assertive and competitive can be misinterpreted as unsportsmanlike or problematic.
There is a lot of appropriate attention on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, and we found out that the Fever Storm game from over the weekend drew 2.2 million viewers, which is massive. The WNBA has 18 games this season where they've had more than 1 million viewers average, and 16 of those 18 have featured Caitlin Clark. So you cannot deny the connectivity of Caitlin Clark playing basketball and people wanting to watch. If she's playing, they will come, they will watch the game.
Experts in the basketball community have noted this divide in support. Some argue that Reese's unapologetic approach should be celebrated as a form of self-expression and empowerment, akin to the way male athletes are often celebrated for their intensity and confidence. Others suggest that the media's differing treatment of Clark and Reese points to a broader issue of bias and the ways in which female athletes are scrutinized based on their demeanor as much as their performance. For Reese, this disparity can be frustrating. Her contributions to the game are undeniable, and her impact on her team is profound. Yet, the narrative surrounding her achievements often seems overshadowed by discussions about her behavior or attitude. This contrast in how Clark and Reese are perceived and supported by prominent figures in basketball can feel like an added hurdle that Reese has to overcome, on top of the regular pressures of being an elite athlete.
Caitlin Clark is nearing a lucrative 8-figure endorsement deal with Nike.
And both of these teams very willing and capable of pushing in transition and scoring quickly.
Here's Clark working around Fletcher. Caitlin Clark has Iowa on the board first.
The most prolific scorer in NCAA Division I history and the #1 pick in the WNBA draft signed by Indiana Fever early this year.
The Indiana Fever are busting down the door of the second half of the season. They be one of the best teams in the league tonight.
Caitlin Clark has once again found herself back in Nike's radar. Although Nike has been in the picture for the longest, Caitlin has decided to continue her contract with them by signing a life-changing deal running across an 8-figure price and her very own signature shoe, courtesy of Nike.
So the news is out, which really comes as no surprise to anyone. Caitlin Clark will be getting an 8-figure contract, signature shoe with Nike. I think this was all expected.
But how did such an opportunity find Caitlin? Join us as we dive deeper into Caitlin Clark's $50,000 Nike deal that has left the world in shock. What a deal! In the fall of 2022, Caitlin Clark signed an endorsement deal with the popular sports brand Nike as one of the brand's first NIL, name, image, and likeness, basketball players in preparation for the junior basketball season. During the time the contract came into effect, Caitlin was attending college at Iowa University, where she was a part of the basketball team, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Well, Caitlin Clark is going to be a Hawkeye. I can't stress how big that is for Lisa Bluter and the Hawkeyes. Clark is a game and program changer. She thrives on competition and is as dynamic a player as we've seen. The decision, though, to go to Iowa took some time. It was narrowed down to Notre Dame and the Hawkeyes.
In her junior year, she became the National Player of the Year, leading the Hawkeyes to their first national championship game. Signing the deal with Nike gave Caitlin the opportunity to be able to sell off official Iowa Hawkeyes jerseys with her name on them, something that wasn't allowed before the implementation of NIL deals. Nike also began selling T-shirts and sweatshirts bearing her name and number.
Caitlin Clark immediately became one of the most attractive potential business partners in Iowa. Clark's star is rising, and today she announces a big-time partnership. Clark signed her first NIL deal today with Hy-Vee,
as she kept working with the brand while she built up her basketball career. But things didn't stop there. According to Caitlin, watching Nike athletes as a kid had inspired her to work hard to make a difference in the world of sports. And she felt completely honored to be listed among the first basketball class put together by the brand. Being a part of the class, along with having the opportunity to inspire the next class, gave Caitlin a reason to push herself to perform at her best whenever she stepped into the basketball court. Since Iowa was a Nike-sponsored school, Caitlin regularly wore shoes from Kobe Bryant's sneakers line, and she was known to autograph and give out shoes she had worn during her games to excited fans as she left the court after the end of her games.
Well, Caitlin Clark is all about the kids, and after Tuesday's win over Wisconsin, well, one lucky fan from Dubuque came back with a lifelong memory.
Hawkeye headquarters reporter Blake Hornstein has more from Dubuque.
Caitlin's 4 years at Iowa were spent rewriting college basketball's history book as she ended her career scoring 3,951 points, the most in men's and women's college basketball after passing Pistol Pete Maravich. She ended the 2023-24 season with 1,234 points, the most scored in a women's singles season, and the first commercial shown after she broke Maravich's record was a Nike ad congratulating her. The end of the 2023-24 season was accompanied by not only Caitlin's exit from college basketball, it also marked an end to the contract she had signed with the sports brand, Nike. Although Nike's contract with Caitlin was the most prominent one when she joined them in 2022, she also had deals with State Farm, Gatorade, and other sportswear brands.
I need a break. Time for a Big Ten game break. I'm Jenny Taft here with Hawkeye Caitlin Clark.
Excuse me, I just need a little help. Life's moving really fast. New job, new car, new apartment.
Oh, you don't need us. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That showed interest in the basketball player at the time. With the season at an end, Caitlin's agent started to work on a new contract with Nike even before she announced she would turn pro. She did this in place of making a return to Iowa for a 5th season under the COVID-19 exemption offered to players in college during the 2020 pandemic season. Finally, on April 15, 2024, Caitlin was drafted number 1 by the Indiana Fever.
A huge headline tonight in women's basketball. Record-breaking Iowa Hawkeyes star Caitlin Clark has announced she's entering the WNBA draft this year, and it's big news here in Indianapolis.
Signing a 4-year contract, earning a salary of about $76,000 as a rookie on the basketball team, with promise to gain an increase in price with each year's climb. This movement was carried out after she had scored over 31 points and led Hawkeyes to a 2nd straight national championship game. Clark received offers of $16 million over 4 years from Under Armour and $6 million over 4 years from Adidas, with both including a signature shoe, according to the WSJ, but her loyalty remained intact regarding Nike. According to the WSJ, Puma also showed some interest in landing an endorsement deal with Caitlin, but walked away when told the bidding would start at $3 million per year. In no time, Nike stretched out an enticing offer to Caitlin, hoping to draft another contract with the athlete, one that would last a longer time than the previous one. The new endorsement deal would be the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player, and Nike seemed more than eager to pitch the idea to Caitlin with hopes that she would accept it. A meeting was arranged between Caitlin's agents and Nike, with not much information given out to the public on its contents, but the interaction resulted in an acceptance of Nike's endorsement deal by Caitlin Clark's agency. The deal is said to revolve around an 8-figure range, with an opportunity to get her own signature shoe line.
Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark is said to be on the verge of signing a massive endorsement deal with Nike.
Just like Kobe Bryant's that she wore during her Iowa days. As if all that wasn't enticing enough, Nike is said to have offered a long-term 8-year contract to Caitlin, which goes to show the sportswear giant's commitment to the athlete. With such a deal in the bag, Caitlin's career seems to be already set at such a young age. But how did it all start? How did Caitlin Clark climb up the ladder of success at such a young age? Let's find out. Caitlin Clark, the young icon. More times than we can count, talented people have discovered their potential at a young age and pursued it with all they've got, rising to stardom way before they get to the peak of their years. Caitlin Clark, whose interest in sports peaked at a young age, is a very good example of this category of people. She began playing basketball at age 5 and competed in boys' recreational leagues because her father could not find a girls' league for her age group, which was common in Des Moines, Iowa, the city she grew up in. As she got older, Caitlin engaged in other sports, such as softball, volleyball, soccer, tennis, and golf, before finally shifting her full focus to the one she loved most, basketball. When she was 13, Caitlin was able to find a girls' league to join, but she had to begin playing for a league which was several years ahead of her age group due to a similar situation to the one she had in her early years. However, Caitlin continued running with her dream of becoming a pro basketball player, and when she got to high school, things started to look up. Caitlin enrolled at Dowling Catholic High School in West Des Moines, Iowa.
Welcome back. By now, if you're paying attention to girls' high school basketball in Iowa, you know the name Caitlin Clark. Dowling Catholic star guard, the nation's #4 prospect in the 2020 class, and played for Team USA under-17 team last summer. That Caitlin Clark.
But didn't kickstart her basketball career until her second year in high school. She first joined the school's varsity soccer team as a starter, but anyone could tell her eyes were set on a different sport entirely. Finally, after a few games with the team, Caitlin shifted gears towards her true love, basketball, playing under the guidance of the head coach, Kristen Myers. In her freshman year, She averaged 15.3 points, 4.7 assists, and 2.3 steals, earning herself some level of popularity in the world of basketball. Caitlin also went ahead to acquire Class 5, a All-State third-team accolades from the Iowa Newspaper Association and All-Iowa Honorable Mention from the Des Moines Register. The showdown between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese became one of the most talked-about moments in college basketball history. In the 2023 NCAA Women's Championship, these two titans of the sport clashed not just for the title, but for personal pride. Caitlin Clark, known for her sharp shooting and relentless determination, found herself facing Angel Reese, a dominant force on the court. However, as the game unfolded, it wasn't just about the score. It became a battle of egos, and in a surprising twist, Clark managed to completely outshine and embarrass Reese in a way no one saw coming. What followed was a display of basketball brilliance that left her critics, including Reese, stunned and speechless.
The WNBA tried to capitalize on her popularity and crammed a lot of games in over a short amount of time, playing against the best teams in the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark entered the 2023 NCAA Women's Basketball Championship with a reputation that was nearly impossible to overlook.
Diana Taurasi knows how to get Brittany Griner the ball on the inside more than anyone else on the team does. Like, there's no way as a professional athlete you can sit here and completely discount what team chemistry and player chemistry stands for and what that means.
Her scoring abilities were unrivaled. Her basketball IQ was off the charts, and her competitive fire was something even her opponents had to respect. Angel Reese, on the other hand, was also a force to be reckoned with.
Caitlin Clark is the biggest star in American sports. There's not one other American athlete that could do what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA or for any league.
I think she should be up for MVP.
LSU's star player was known for her dominance in the paint, her ability to control the boards, and her no-nonsense attitude. Reese had established herself as a fierce competitor.
She's having impact on her team that nobody else in the league is having on her team. This is a team that went 13-27 last year. And suddenly, the Indiana Fever are the hottest team by far in the league.
But as this game would soon show, Caitlin Clark was on a whole different level. From the opening tip, it was clear that Clark wasn't there just to compete. She was there to win, and to do so in a way that no one could ignore.
2,826 gallons of beer have been sold.
Wow.
Draft beer. That's an increase of 740%. Hot dog sales up 300%.
Iowa's offense was built around her. Every move, every pass, every shot seemed to flow through Clark.
Her three-point shooting has heated up, and nobody in the league can flick logo threes as effortlessly as Caitlin can.
She moved with purpose, directing her teammates with a point or a glance, almost as if the game was moving in slow motion for her. And then, just minutes into the game, she made her presence felt.
What Caitlin Clark does is kind of simple, really. She shows up at games. She signs autographs. She talks to little girls wearing jerseys. She smiles to the crowd. And then here's the most important thing. She competes like a maniac. I mean, like a maniac.
Clark pulled up from well beyond the three-point line with a defender in her face and drained the shot as if it were the easiest thing in the world.
And I think in overall popularity, does her race play a factor? Nominal. Women's basketball has had a cornucopia of talented white and black women's basketball players. Elena Delle Donne is white, is she not? Sue Bird, white, is she not? Asia Wilson's black. Cynthia Cooper, black. Like, you can go back through, and it's actually a lot more. There's gay and there's straight. There's black and there's white. There's tall and there's short.
The crowd erupted. But for Clark, it was just another day at the office. Angel Reese, guarding the paint, could only watch as Iowa built an early lead. She was supposed to be the difference maker for LSU, but Clark was making her impact look insignificant.
Splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane. That should be celebrated, and it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up.
As the first half progressed, Reese tried to impose her will inside. She grabbed rebounds, pushed through double teams, and scored on putbacks, but for every basket Reese made, Clark had an answer.
No one like Caitlin Clark in the history of the WNBA.
Pretty exciting. One of the big reasons fans flock to State Farm Arena is, of course, the Caitlin Clark effect.
No one cares what skin color you are. You know what America loves? Let me break it down for you. We love.
And Clark's answers weren't just simple layups or mid-range shots. They were back-breaking long-range threes that seemed to demoralize the LSU defense.
Any other player we have ever seen in the women's game, and it starts with the distance with which she shoots the basketball. We've never seen a player shoot from that deep range with that kind of efficiency.
I just love that she tries to stay grounded, and she says she doesn't, what did she say? She doesn't have a social, she doesn't look at her social, and I get it. I don't either, and I think it's so important to continue to do what she's doing, and no matter what other people do, then if people are negative, it's because they can't do what you do.
Each time Reese would try to bring her team back within striking distance, Clark would casually drill another three-pointer, often from well beyond the arc.
I've got the fever. I can't help it. I can't stop watching. I can't stop talking about the impact Caitlin Clark is having on game after game after game. Caitlin Clark is starting to push Asia Wilson for MVP of this league, and I am not exaggerating. She is starting to push Asia as the best player in the league because I don't see anybody control a game the way Caitlin can.
What made Clark's dominance even more impressive was her court vision. She wasn't just scoring at will, she was orchestrating Iowa's entire offense.
Caitlin Clark now has the rookie record, the history of the WNBA. She's now going to try to set the all-time record, but 12 games to go. Now, this is happening exactly how I scripted it. I think that was lost on a lot of people. Watch her play. She plays at a high level, highly skilled. She's the best passer in America, and she's the best shooter in America.
When defenders doubled her, she'd find an open teammate with a no-look pass.
There's nothing, Shannon. You just want to support that white girl. She busting y'all ass. If you like Caitlin Clark, you gotta hate Angel. And if you love Angel, you can't say anything good about Caitlin Clark. Y'all can't tell me what the F to say. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Yeah. The media frenzy that followed only added to the narrative. Pundits and fans alike marveled at Clark's performance, calling it one of the most clutch performances in recent memory.
I think it's a huge thing. I think a lot of people say it's not about black and white, but to me, it is. It's really because you can be the top notch at what you do as a black woman, but maybe there's something that people don't want to see. Wilson said to the Associated Press.
Social media lit up with clips of Clark's deep threes, her dazzling passes, and her cool demeanor in the face of Reese's taunts. It was clear that Caitlin Clark had solidified herself as the best player in women's college basketball.
Once you see the ball go through the basket a little bit, like I still had a few in and outs. I'm like, man, how's it not going in? But I felt like I played a good game. My shot felt well. I thought we could have moved the ball a little bit better, but overall, I thought we played well. Our defense could have been a little bit better, especially to start the game. But I'm proud of this group, and I'm really thankful for these fans. It's been a fun season inside here, and hopefully we can bring the playoffs back here for a few times for them as well.
And no amount of trash talk or physicality could change that. As the dust settled, the rivalry between Clark and Reese became a defining storyline of the season.
Splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane. That should be celebrated, and it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up.
Reese had her moments throughout the year, but on that day, Caitlin Clark proved that when it mattered most, she was untouchable.
As a scorer, like when you see a couple go down like that, like you just have all the confidence in the world. The basket looks really big. So I know exactly how she felt. Like she was just in the zone. Like, and really they played good defense multiple times. Like there's just nothing you can do in those situations where she's making step back threes, one-legged floaters, things like that. Like you literally cannot guard it. And like I said on the broadcast,
Her performance wasn't just about basketball. It was about rising above the noise, staying focused, and delivering when the lights were brightest. And in doing so, she not only embarrassed her bully, but also set a new standard for what greatness looks like on the court. Caitlin Clark just made headlines again by shattering an 18-year-old record with a stunning 35-point performance. The young phenom continues to dominate the basketball court, setting a new benchmark in scoring and raising the bar for future players. This historic achievement adds to her already impressive resume, leaving fans and analysts in awe. Her latest performance not only highlights her scoring prowess, but also solidifies her as one of the most influential athletes in women's basketball today.
Yeah, I thought we could have executed a little bit better there at the end. Like we got that 8-point lead, and then I had a few turnovers that can't happen, and didn't execute offensively during that last minute. But made plays when we needed to. This team always puts up a lot of points on us, but I'm glad we got the win. They're really good offensively.
Caitlin Clark's recent record-shattering performance, in which she scored 35 points and broke an 18-year-old record, solidified her position as one of the brightest stars in women's basketball. This achievement represents not just another milestone in her career, but also highlights her immense talent and potential to influence the future of the sport.
Once you see the ball go through the basket a little bit, like I still had a few in and outs. I'm like, man, how's it not going in? But I felt like I played a good game. My shot felt well. I thought we could have moved the ball a little bit better, but overall, I thought we played well. Our defense could have been a little bit better, especially to start the game. But I'm proud of this group, and I'm really thankful for these fans. It's been a fun season inside here, and hopefully we can bring the playoffs back here for a few times for them as well.
Clark's journey from a standout high school player to a college phenom and now a record-breaking WNBA star is a testament to her skill, work ethic, and ability to rise to the occasion when it matters most.
yeah, it was great. Honestly, it was a lot of fun. I thought we came in here and we competed hard. That was the thing. Like we knew they were going to want to win. So we came out with the same mindset of wanting to win. I think we were down 2 at halftime, and I thought we started the third quarter really strong. And that's what kind of set the tone for that whole second half. And then never hurts when Enrique gets really hot like that. It's just kind of like give her the ball and let her do her thing. And that's probably the main reason we won was because of her.
The 35-point performance that set the new rookie record was not an isolated moment, but a culmination of years of hard work and preparation. Clark, known for her range, poise, and relentless drive, has been on a steady trajectory to stardom since she began making headlines in her high school days. Even before she entered college basketball, Clark was already seen as a generational talent, with her shooting ability and basketball IQ far beyond her years.
I'm super proud of her, but I think she does a lot of things for us that don't show up in the box score too. Like she's all over the floor. I mean, she guards their best player all night, so I'm just really proud of her. She's our X factor. So
when she played for the Iowa Hawkeyes in college, she quickly became the face of the program, breaking records and drawing attention from fans and analysts alike. Clark was consistently putting up eye-popping numbers, leading her team deep into tournaments and leaving a lasting impression on every game she played. Her transition to the WNBA was seamless. From her first games in the league, it was clear that Caitlin Clark was not just another rookie trying to find her footing.
Splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane. That should be celebrated, and it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up.
She immediately became the centerpiece of her team's offense, showcasing her versatility and range on the court. Her ability to score from beyond the arc, drive to the basket, and hit free throws with laser-like accuracy, made her an offensive juggernaut. Defenses struggled to contain her, often resorting to double-teaming her, but that didn't stop Clark from finding ways to score. Her basketball IQ allowed her to read defenses and make adjustments mid-game, a rare quality even among the most seasoned players. What made Clark's 35-point game so remarkable was the way she achieved it. It wasn't just about putting up points, it was about how she controlled the game.
I thought we just kept chipping away. We got stops when we needed to, and then the crowd was amazing and helped us get it done. So appreciate it.
Clark hit shots from deep, showing off her trademark three-point shooting ability, while also driving into the paint and finishing strong at the rim. Her free throw shooting was flawless, and she made key plays on defense and in the rebounding game. Clark was involved in every aspect of her team's performance, proving that she is not just a scorer, but a well-rounded player capable of impacting the game in multiple ways.
I mean, I think it's been happening, prior even to this team. This momentum, this wave, that we're feeling, it has been sort of this kind of journey for women's basketball to get the attention that it is, getting at this point.
Her ability to excel in all facets of the game is what sets her apart from other players and what made her 35-point performance so impressive. The record she broke, which had stood for 18 years, was previously held by Simone Augustus, a WNBA legend and one of the greatest players in the league's history.
Regular season viewership, it grew by 20% in 2023. It's grown by 180% now, which means it would take another 5 or 6 years to do what Caitlin Clark has done. So between draft day viewership, which is up 400% to 40%, between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%, between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%, what Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years.
For Clark to surpass a record set by a player of Augustus's caliber speaks volumes about her talent and potential. Augustus was known for her scoring ability, and her rookie record was a testament to her dominance early in her career.
Any other player we have ever seen in the women's game, and it starts with the distance with which she shoots the basketball. We've never seen a player shoot from that deep range with that kind of efficiency.
Caitlin Clark is starting to push Asia Wilson for MVP of this league, and I am not exaggerating. She is starting to push Asia as the best player in the league because I don't see anybody control a game the way Caitlin can.
For Caitlin Clark to break that record not only places her among elite company, but also suggests that she has the potential to build a legacy that could rival or even surpass some of the all-time greats in the sport. Beyond the statistics and records, what truly makes Caitlin Clark special is her competitive spirit. She has an insatiable desire to win, and that drive is what fuels her on the court.
As a scorer, like when you see a couple go down like that, like you just have all the confidence in the world. The basket looks really big. So I know exactly how she felt. Like she was just in the zone. Like, and really they played good defense multiple times. Like there's just nothing you can do in those situations where she's making step back threes, one-legged floaters, things like that. Like you literally cannot guard it. And like I said on the broadcast, like in my eyes, she's the best one-on-one player in this league. Like she just has that skill. Like she can get whatever shot whenever she wants it. That's how good she is with the ball. So it was fun to watch. Like that's exciting for me. Like I haven't always been on that side of it where, you have a teammate that goes kind of crazy like that. So
whether it's a regular season game or a playoff matchup, Clark approaches every game with the same intensity and focus. Her leadership on the court is evident. She commands respect from her teammates and leads by example. Her passion for the game is contagious, and it's clear that she elevates the performance of everyone around her. This ability to inspire and lead is a trait shared by the greatest athletes in any sport, and Clark possesses it in abundance.
There is a lot of appropriate attention on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, and we found out that the Fever Storm game from over the weekend drew 2.2 million viewers, which is massive. The WNBA has 18 games this season where they've had more than 1 million viewers average, and 16 of those 18 have featured Caitlin Clark. So you cannot deny the connectivity of Caitlin Clark playing basketball and people wanting to watch. If she's playing, they will come, they will watch the game.
As Clark continues to break records and dominate on the court,